can't tell, it's very hot in my shop. So I had somebody send me this project, and apparently it was uploaded to Easel back in 2014, and it appears to be a scroll saw project that somebody scanned a PDF for and then uploaded that to Easel. The issue is that when we open that scanned PDF as an Easel project, it doesn't carve the way that it really should. And I'll show you what that does right here. So while this loads, make sure you hit the like button if you're interested in these CNC tutorial videos and how we pair this particular project. You can see in here when I bring it in, it is a double line carve around the outside here. And the inside parts are just kind of missing. That's because when they scanned the PDF, it turned the lines into that thickness of like a fill. So when I set it to clear out the project, it clears out the area like that, like a pocket, right? And I can't do outside the line or inside the line, or else it duplicates the lines. Even on the line, it adds it 2 lines, one for inside and outside. I'll show you that on all these. And it looks like a little slot right there, but when I simulate this and you check out the tool paths, you can see down in there that there are 2 discrete lines right there. And what that's doing is it's doubling the toolpath, and we had to take 1 hour and 52 minutes to make this. And it's going to be that much smaller than the original design because we have a toolpath on the inside and the outside of the line. So if you use this bit, it's going to be 2 millimeters smaller. Odds are most of you don't have a 2 millimeter bit, so let's say you're using an 1/8 inch maybe. So it's going to be an 1/8 inch smaller than it was originally designed on the outside. And this inside is also going to be an 1/8 inch closer. So all these wall thicknesses are actually a 1/4 inch thinner than they were designed to be, which is probably not good. So with this, we can go ahead and use a few different tools to fix these sections, but I have to do it section by section, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this outside one here and use the tool that's called Extract Subpath. This little mushroom looking one right here. What that's going to do is it's going to draw a line around the outside. Oh, but look, it doesn't go all the way around the outside. So that's all we get from that. And the issue with that is we've got a gap right there. We probably have another one right over that other area, which is, yep, we got 2 gaps, one there and one here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill those gaps with just like a little shape. Putting a line there just doesn't work right. It has to be a shape. So actually, we'll get rid of that square and use a circle instead. So while I'm doing this, why don't you take a moment to go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're interested in other CNC tutorials like this one. So I'm basically just using this to cross this gap. I don't want to be too far sticking out. So I might shorten this up just a little bit. That doesn't look too bad. So taking these 2, I can select these and combine them together by going Edit and Combine or pressing Control-J. So what that did is that now combine my oval in there to that shape. So now at least that section is attached. Now I can do the same thing over here as well. And while we're here, we'll fix that little rogue node that's sitting down there by itself. Turn this a little bit so it fits a little bit better in there. We can press Control-J to join those. And now we have a solid shape that goes all the way around. Now I did mention this extra little rogue part here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that out. So now with that, we can go in here to the Extract Subpath. And there's just a slew of settings you can change here, but we'll just leave them the same and just extract what we have sitting there. I'm going to go ahead and send this to the back, which allows me to then click the original one that was there, right? And we'll just delete that out. We're done with that now. We're actually done with this one too, so we'll just press the delete key on that, and it will delete that one right out. So now that we've gone ahead and done the extract subpath for this outside vector, we can go ahead and set that to outside the path. Oh, I'm still getting an error, so I must have, let me hide these tabs. Sometimes they cover up, yeah, they cover up the open vectors. So I've got one right there still. So I'm going to throw one more circle in there and then combine it, and that should fix that problem. Actually, this one can be larger because we've already done the subpath. So this, we're not just bonding a gap right here. We can press Ctrl-J and join that together. I didn't quite get that shape right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it in a little bit more. Let's see if I can get that aligned perfectly. Otherwise, I got to play with the nodes afterwards, and that's just no fun. That's not horrendous now, so I'm going to go ahead with that, and hopefully, there we go. We can put it on the outside the way we want it. Now, we can do the same thing with these other ones, although I did notice that they're a lot smaller, and we can just delete out the actual nodes, and it'll fix the problem that way. So I'm going to zoom out enough that we can see all these nodes. I'm just going to select one section on the inside. Just start deleting these around. Tapping or holding the delete key works just fine. And then once we get into these angles over here, once we start to delete the wrong shape, like this one now, I'm just going to press Ctrl-Z to undo a few of those. And we should be okay. It looks like there's a few there I missed. So delete, 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 delete. And now with that done, this one here should allow me to set it to inside the path. And we're good there. Repeat that same process up here with this one real quick. Just deleting that extra layer. And that might be enough. Oh, I missed a few more there, right? Just a couple. And now with this one, we can set it to inside the path. We've got those set up. We can move these tabs around accordingly. And it looks like this is now from a 2-hour carve down to a 1-hour carve. And we have a lot more control over what we're doing with which area. Now, when you do have the tabs on here, I suggest bringing them around to flat areas that are easier to sand off. I prefer to sand these with a stationary belt sander, or these inside ones with a flat sanding pad. So if there aren't flat surfaces, it makes them just that much easier to sand away. And this one here, maybe come in with the spindle sander for these that are on rounded areas. Or you may be able to just sand it by hand. Either way. So there we've got the tab set up and everything simulates out in, I think, just about an hour. Let's check that real quick. Yeah, we're at 56 minutes to cut this one piece out of 0.709 inch birch plywood, which is, I think, an odd amount. Normally, when I buy 3/4 inch, it comes in at 0.745. And I think this is probably the default, cutting settings for this bit in Easel anyway. So with a bit of an aggressive cut, we can cut this out with a compression bit with about 10 layers at about 7 minutes. That seems a little more realistic as opposed to the 2 hours that the project was set up for. So I'm going to go ahead and save a copy of this to my easel and then load this project back into the easel projects directory with the noted title of repaired easel project. I'll go ahead and link that easel project in this video's description in case you want to go ahead and just open that and make this file for yourself. Thanks guys, and that's going to do it. Make sure you check out this video next.